I'm recording again. All right.
You,
I genuinely really do appreciate you doing this.
no, vice versa. You know, I always love all your stuff that you do. So, well,
Well, thank you. The feeling's mutual. Just in the time that we scheduled the interview, you ended up being on the Bandcamp album of the day, which was pretty cool. Well, first of all, I'm here with Fatboi Sharif,
you're
fresh off the release of Decay, which to me, I've been listening to your music for a couple of years at this point, but I feel like the move to Backwoods is pretty massive, like at least in my eyes.
no,
I
I
definitely
appreciate
think I definitely feel like, especially in the past couple of years or so, Backwoods has kind of it's like gone up to the next level in terms of like notoriety, where like people are really paying attention to the every release from them, especially the Arm and Hammer releases and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just really exciting.
no, I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to everybody who been just showing love and supporting it from the gate. Everybody that's getting the vision and tweeting some of their favorite lyrics and talking about their favorite songs is all a blessing. And definitely
Hmm.
shout out to the Backwoods Studio fam. They got the vision from the gate. Nothing but supportive and professional, and it's amazing for sure.
Hmm. And I mean, I mentioned it a minute ago, but this past Friday, it was it this past Friday where your album was the Bandcamp album of the day.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I thought that was like really, I mean, you know, not too surprised. Backwoods is getting this notoriety, so but it was still really cool. And I noticed something about that, something that they wrote about on that little blurb, and something that I think a lot of a lot of critics and a lot of fans, including me, when we talk about your music,
yeah,
one of the big things that comes up a lot is this like idea that your rhymes are like less of a concrete idea and more of just a series of loose vignettes that come together into a bigger picture. Um,
yeah.
and I'm very curious if that kind of reading for you is satisfying, because I know that whenever I talk about it in that way, it almost feels like a cop out of saying like, yeah, it's just so out there that you know, the point is that I can't understand what he's talking about. Um, and so I'm just very curious if you ever feel like there's something that people aren't getting.
Well, I would say that's a great question, but it's like a layered answer. Because I would say, like, at the end of the day, me coming into it being a writer, I kind of know, well, really, I exactly know what my thought and meaning was behind the lyrics. And to me, it's just dope to kind of see people kind of debate, or I might hear what somebody might get one thing from a lyric or a scar head, somebody might get two different other things. And to me, that's what music is all about. It's kind of all about the art being presented and the people who taking in the art kind of getting their own perspective of it and making making sense to it, making sense to the art in their head.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I have to agree because as much as I've listened to like Decay, there's still so many things where it's like every listen I will kind of notice the way that two things connect, or like kind of like the sampled interludes and the way they lyrically connect into the next song or something. And I mean,
Nah, you're definitely
I mean,
right. Like,
you're not compromising, so it's like I may as well just accept it and then try to find what I can.
nah, definitely like, and that's kind of how I've always been like as a writer. Like, I'm real. strategic strategic where I might kind of have idea for something and for a song now that I'll write record, but I might hold on to it for maybe hold on, my bad, it's a phone ringing in the background. So I might have something written and recorded now that I'm like, all right, this song is dope now, it's powerful now, but it's not even going to make sense for another maybe 3 or 4 years to come out when
Hmm.
people can hear it and they when they see the other pictures in the journey and the other features in the journey to get to that. So I kind of always write with the aspect of like, all right, this small piece, I want this small piece to connect to these bigger pieces a little down the line, whether they connect maybe 6 months from now or 6 years from now. Like
Hmm.
the overall picture when it's finally revealed is going to be satisfied and it's going to be like, okay, that was worth it. That was worth
Hmm.
that ride. It was worth those 10 to 12 listens. That was worth, oh, I finally got that lyric. I finally, because that's the type of music I always was attracted to and like inspired me as a writer from different forms of music, movies, art, all types of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I've noted that you cited, if I'm not mistaken, Stanley Kubrick and David Lynch as two
Yeah, yeah.
big influences.
Hell yeah.
Um, I wanted to hear if you have them, your top three Kubrick movies and your top three Lynch movies.
Okay, okay. Let's do the God Kubrick first. For me, my top three Kubricks, I'll say Eyes Wide Shut, The Shining, and I'll do Full Metal Jacket. And I'm gonna do one even better. I'll break down each reason for each that kind of inspires me just as a creative and writer. Eyes Wide Shut. Well, kind of all three of those movies, I'm always in love with the overall feeling they give me. Just like body wise and spirit wise, like because I've watched all three of those literally over the past month, like in different instances or whatever. So like Eyes Wide Shut, I always loved like the mystery and just what was going to happen next in the movie, or how one thing kind of led to another. So like something random, like the scene where he's like when he first went to the house and he walking through the house slow, so you just kind of hearing the music in the background. You're not really
Hmm.
seeing what's going on in the house, and then you just get that first visual of just one of the couples having sex on the side, random as hell. Like what the fuck, like.
Yeah.
And that scene plays out more, you just see more and more people doing that. And it's just like, oh shit. And even just the whole scene, I always love kind of like the patience of the scene where the guy's playing the piano, where they first unveiled Tom Cruise. And I want to say it's probably like a 5 to 6 minute scene of just they all with the cloaks with the masks and they all hitting the floor and the piano just playing like stuff like that. I always love like as a creator. And
Hmm.
um The Shining, that one was always good for me because I always loved just kind of like the randomness of it, but also just the settleness of it. Where like The Shining, there's a lot of scenes where you literally settle into it. So even just the scene where uh Danny talking to the dude, the bald headed dude inside of the room, where they both realize they got The Shining. Where he's like, yeah, you know how I know your name was Doc? Because somebody told me, like,
Hmm.
and that back and forth was always dope to me. Even just the part where Jack Nicholson walking through the hotel and it's like the imaginary bar there, and he take a drink, he talking to the dude Charles Brady in the bathroom, like, yeah, I killed my wife. And obviously it's not there. Like, we all know it's not there. Like, it's literally a figment of his imagination at the moment. But to me, that scene was so dope where it was like it's not there, but it's still happening. If you get what I'm saying,
Hmm. For the
like
record, I want to say, um, I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut, and I've never
oh
seen The Shining.
damn,
I know,
Jesus,
dude. I was trying to watch it. I was trying to watch The Shining last night to prepare for this, just because I knew that you like it. And it's like I don't know what to watch it on. Like I don't have anything that I can watch it on. So I was like, whatever.
oh
I watched 2001 for the first time a couple days ago. That was shocking. It was like mind blowing.
now that's another experience of experiences for sure.
Hmm.
And even like I was saying, Full Metal Jacket. To me, the beauty of that is amazing movie overall, but that first hour where they going through boot camp and the guy kills himself and like that's easily probably 45 minutes to an hour's worth of the most intense movie acting ever. like,
Yeah.
like and Coop and Lynch. So I was I'll do
You can
Eraserhead.
just I'm just gonna say you can add Twin Peaks if you want.
Okay. For Lynch, I'd say Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, and he has a short movie called Rabbits that I always was in love with. I don't know if you ever
Okay.
got a
I
chance to,
don't know it.
but okay, yeah, check out Rabbits when you get a chance. Super fine. And for those, it's kind of like the same thing with the Kubrick films. Eraserhead, to me, just the scene of just the baby, like how crazy the baby looked, and then just the lady with the twisted face, and just the
Hmm.
whole, just him being alone in the city, walking through the city. Like every time I watch it, it kind of gets me feeling like, damn, like that's how art's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. Just like it's supposed to shock you. It's supposed to scare you, but overall, it's supposed to like inform you. And to me, Lynch is definitely one of the best at doing that. Even Blue Velvet, you got two or three different stories going on at one time, which is dope. Like with the Dennis Hopper story, then the ear storyline, and kind of like how they all connect is masterful. And
Hmm.
same thing with like every time I watch Rabbits, I connect it back to a few of his other short films that I enjoyed over the years, and I just love the overall story and kind of like where it take you. Like, and it's not more than probably 15 minutes long,
Hmm.
but super impactful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something like the thing with like Eraserhead, I was thinking about your music and like Eraserhead and like those like it's like once I watched Eraserhead, it was like the dots just like connected with your music where it's like you can tell what's going on, but it doesn't mean that you like really like fully comprehend it. Even with like the
Nah,
like in Eraserhead, there's the scene where the dogs, like the puppies, are like nursing on their mom, and the sound coming from it is like the most like alien, like screeching or like squeaking or something. It's just insane. Like
yeah, I
everything
love
about
that.
that movie.
That really, that's a movie that I play in the studio a lot. Like when we in the studio recording, right? We'll just have a big TV and on mute and just look at it like, damn, like this shit still is unmatched to this day. Like,
Hmm. Are there any like modern, I mean, Lynch is modern, I guess, but like any like contemporary directors who kind of give you that same feeling?
I'll tell you a bunch of different films to check out. Particular
Hmm.
director, I'll give you the films because some people might hear certain directors and not remember the director over the film. So I'll
Hmm.
just say, and contemporary, what do you mean? Like within the past 10 years, 5 years?
Like I'll just say like 21st century.
Okay. So all right, so I'll do up the past 10 years
Okay.
films that really stuck with me. So I'd say Lighthouse, super huge movie for me that I loved. Mother, also a super dope movie. Midsummer, super dope movie. Um, I didn't see it, but I got a feeling I would love it because I keep hearing good things about it, and it seems like the type of movie that I would love. The Skinamarink, one of the
Oh yeah.
yeah, one of the
Yeah.
newest horror came out. Like I still gotta check it out, but it seems like it would be up my alley. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, those three. Also, everything all at once. Anything, everything, all at once. Like that
Yeah.
was also a big movie for me when I saw it last year. I was like, damn, I haven't had this theater experience like something spiritual like this in a minute. Like those other films that I was saying.
Yeah.
Like
Do you like Gaspar Noé?
funny you say him. Literally, when I was in the studio the other night, we watched really two things. Funny you say that. We watched Into the Void while we
Mm-hmm.
was recording, and literally I just sampled some of Irreversible, like a little part of Irreversible on something I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on. So it's funny you bring him up.
Yeah. I've never seen Enter the Void, but I've seen Climax, and that movie is like a have you seen Climax?
Funny thing, I think that's the only film of his I didn't see.
Yeah, that's like a that kind of gives me similar feelings to maybe like the it's not as complicated, but something like Mulholland Drive where it's just like you feel like you're stuck in a nightmare. Um yeah, that movie I saw in theaters, and I think it's the only movie that I've seen that like I left the theater and I had a stomach ache just from like watching the movie. Like it just made me feel bad.
Now, see, that's a damn reaction right there.
Yeah,
You got to finally watch The Shining this week and check out those other movies I said.
I know. Dude, The Shining was just on like HBO Max last week. And so I was like, oh, I'll just watch it. And then I went to check it like yesterday and it was gone.
God damn.
Yeah. So I'll probably just buy it like on Blu-ray or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a must. I want to say I got like three copies of that shit. Like
Shining.
the VHS, the DVD, the Blu-ray. Like,
Hmm. Yeah. Dude, I think that Kubrick might be after watching 2001, uh I feel like Kubrick might be my favorite director, like honestly. Because
say
I haven't
that.
seen every movie. I haven't seen every movie from him, but I've seen like The Killing, Paths of Glory, Full Metal Jacket, and 2001. And all those movies are just like unmatched. They're all incredible.
Yeah, I definitely don't see an issue with that being your favorite. Let me ask you this: you what connection did you get or feeling did you get from each one of those films that you enjoyed that you connect when you listen to music?
Um, you know what I like about the I'll say The Killing. Have you seen The Killing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that movie was like okay, his movies from the 50s are they're both like or I should say Paths of Glory and The Killing are both like under 90 minutes. And that is like a very underrated skill is to like put a full movie in such a short time span. And I feel like The Killing is like so that is a movie that you just like get dropped into it and like all the dialogue is super fast paced. All of the performances are really like they're super 50s performances, like they're really pulpy, but they're so funny. Like the guy's wife who's cheating on him is so
Hmm.
funny. Like all of her lines are like super snappy and um I'd say Paths of Glory is just really like Kirk Douglas is just like it's one of the best performances I've ever seen in that movie. And I think like the just all the theatricality of it is just amazing. And
Yeah,
it's like and something about it is that the 50s like I'm always like fascinated when I like there's a lot of movies from the 50s or whatever that I will just like not connect with because it's just a matter of when it
give
came
it.
out. But like
Yeah,
Kubrick's movies are just timeless. It's just
yeah,
amazing.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could not agree with you more. Not.
Yeah. And I'd say similar feelings about like 2001. It's just like that movie could come out today. It would be just as incredible. I didn't know
Yeah,
about the Stargate thing. Like I had no idea that that happened in the movie.
no,
Like in
yeah.
the line of it.
2001 is definitely a what I call one of one type
Mm-hmm.
art
Yeah.
for a fact. Nobody else can make it, and nobody else did make it. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
So something that I think about a lot with music with artists that are like you, just super out there, not trying to appeal to any wide audience really. Um, but I was wondering if you have any like modern mainstream artists that you really you really mess with that are just not anywhere near like the stuff you're making.
I didn't think in 2023, I would say not at all, really.
Really?
Uh, yeah, yeah. To me, mainstream took a super nosedive. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, if you asked me that probably 5 or 6 years ago, I might have had probably like two or three people that I would be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, dope, and this is dope. But 2023, hell no.
What do you think is the last like big album that came out that you were like that you were on board with?
Oh, the last Kendrick album had some joints.
Yeah,
Yeah, the last Kendrick album had some fire that I still go back to and bump. So
it's
yeah,
a
I would
good
say
choice.
yeah, his album.
Mm-hmm. You have a record of working with like single producers for an entire record. Um, with Decay, when you came to Steel Tipped Out, did he already have the beats like made and you kind of just like worked around it, or was it kind of a like sitting in the studio and workshopping stuff?
Well, I'll say I'll go back a little bit and to like answer that question. I would say that was around the time, really the first weekend that Preaching sorry about that, Gandhi Loves Children came out with me and Rupert Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He reached out to me on Instagram just on some like, yo, I checked out the album. It's super dope. Keep doing your thing. I was familiar with him already from years being an OG in the game on the independent underground music scene. Like, and I'm just like, yo, appreciate you. You always was dope to me too. Your new stuff is dope. Like, keep killing it. And we got on the phone and kind of set up like, yo, I'm in Brooklyn. Come to my studio. So I went over there. We chilled down and we kind of instantly just hit it off. So he played me stuff that he already made already. So a lot of the production was already made. He just played me and showed me certain stuff that I kind of instantly connected with. And it's crazy because you don't hear this a lot of times with albums. A lot of the centerpieces on the albums and a lot of the biggest songs on the albums was kind of made early, like within the
Mm-hmm.
first two. Like within the first two sessions, we had like Brandon Lee, uh, Boogie Monster, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it was dope because kind of like from those songs, we kind of got the album title early, and we kind of figured out the direction of the rest of the project from those early songs. That I was like, all right, I'm gonna write like this to tell a Decay story, to kind of connect it all within 17 joints. So yeah, that kind of all super came naturally.
Yeah.
Stuff he already had on deck. Like he might have made two or three stuff like in the studio or chopping stuff up, but it was definitely kind of like homegrown for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely you know, I think that or at least from my perspective, there was that Cyber City EP. To me, when that EP came out, that definitely sounded like, okay, this is like extremely different, and this is something that I've never heard before. Because Gandhi Loves Children, it had like the seeds, I felt, but then it also had stuff like Fly Pelican Fly and stuff, where they're more
Yeah,
like just straight hip hop songs. Like, and then that that EP was kind of the moment where I was like, this guy has that very special spark. And
I appreciate you,
um
bro.
I was thinking about it. And did you feel like at all the same way about that? Because I noticed, like, Preaching in Havana, that album, it's it's in a very similar style where it's really not putting, at least to me, it's not putting emphasis on like single power at all, or like individual songs. And it's more like a holistic thing. And so I was
Yeah.
wondering if you feel the same.
Yeah, I would say definitely going from Gandhi to Cyber City, I definitely wanted to surprise the fans and listeners and take them on a ride and a journey. Kind of like when we was putting Gandhi together. We was like, this gotta sound like nothing that's out. We want to break barriers, and we did it with that. So it was kind of just like, all right, let's keep up in the ante. And that's what I did with Cyber City up until Havana, up until Planet Unfaithful. And now Decay and everything else I got coming down the line. So to me, that's what it's always about. It's always about, all right, we did this here, but wait till y'all hear the next one. Like
Hmm.
it's ill too because I would say I literally recorded Decay, Cyber City, and Havana like the same time. So
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, I would go to Dove Studio, leave there, go to Lone Shore Studio, leave there, and link with No Face. So they
That's
all were
awesome.
getting, yeah, like they all
Oh my God,
recorded.
that's where I got Laserface from. I don't know why I was thinking of No Face. Sorry,
Uh,
I got caught on
Lit
that.
Face is a song, is an LP song. I know that. Besides that,
Maybe. I don't know. So do you like see yourself just trying to up the ante with every release?
oh, absolutely. And it's funny because I'm seeing like how surprised and how people are like, oh, Decay is crazy. He did this. And I'm laughing in my head because like people that are super close to me, like they know what's coming, like project wise and song wise and stuff I'm doing sonically and uh writing wise on the next stuff. So it's gonna be a surprise. Just keep staying tuned and keep your eyes open for sure.
The frequency that you release at, it's always like you don't have to wait long. It's very exciting.
Oh, appreciate you, bro. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have much else to ask you about. I was kind of just approaching this from like somebody who has listened to your music a lot and had a lot of questions for you. And so I was just kind of trying to think of like, if I was listening to an interview with you, what kind of questions would I want this person to ask? So
Oh no. Yeah. No, it was definitely dope. You definitely had some dope and interesting things. So thank you for
thank you.
thank you for always supporting and showing love. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're good. I think we got what I was looking for.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Shout out to everybody on the check-in. Shout out to Still Tip Dove. Shout out to Backwoods Studios. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting and holding us down with Decay. We got more stuff on the way and much love.
yeah. Um,
Shout out. Thomas all day long.
Thank you.
Hell
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Um, uh, I'll link all your stuff wherever this is posted.
I don't know.
Um, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Now,
Even if most of the time it wasn't about the actual music.
all
And I don't know what to say except for thank you. And I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting to hear for the next one, and I'll be keeping in touch with you.
hell yeah, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah.